So the first question, what do you guys think it means to have a relationship slash like be in love with God? What does that like mean to you guys?
I wouldn't know, certainly.
Okay. And why wouldn't you know?
Why wouldn't I know? That was kind of a jokey answer if you couldn't tell. But I mean, if you want me, if you want me to answer honestly, what it means to have a relationship is simply, it's definitely, I would say, rewarding and welcoming in a way because, it kind of gives you something to look forward to. It gives you something to, kind of expect, because sometimes, a relationship could be like for me, a girl, just to come home, from work and just have someone that says like, "Hey, how was your day?" And just kind of, have like almost an embrace, almost how we talk to God in a way, And I feel like if you don't have that, it's kind of, you have to kind of always be from within, generating your own love, your own embrace, which is cool at times. But I know, Alasia, between had a like rough share of like past experiences, like with life and just with people in general, where it's like, it's having that generation, that self-generated love doesn't always exist, and sometimes that person give it to you works,
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Oh, Sam, you're out a little bit. Say that again.
No, I said I totally agree with that. Totally agree.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. And I think like it's kind of cool because I feel like a lot of people, like when they think of God, they think about like him in a lot of big ways and they don't think about him in like how he's there for us in the small like ways, like how you said, like somebody asking, like he cares about how our day went, like he cares about like the little stuff too. So that's really cool. That I like that. That's really cool. So what are your guys' individual relationships with God?
Can you please define individual, like how it is,
like what's like, where are you with God right now? Like, how's your relationship with God?
I don't know. I think it's like pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can talk to him with anything. Like I talk to him literally any time of the day. You can literally catch me saying like, "Oh man," I talk to him like I'm monologuing to myself. Like, yeah, I see like the Lord is a really good friend that can be there for me at all times and help me get through like the darkest parts of my day.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How about you, Esther?
Not perfect. I do pray every day. I do try to like communicate with God and thank Him most importantly, whether I have my day goes good or not, because I'm still alive and stuff. Um, but spiritually, I feel like it's not strong. I feel like I could do better. Um, I feel like there's levels to it that I'm just not there yet, but it just really just takes me because I have the opportunity to do it, but it's just like I'm not yet. So,
Yeah. Do you mind talking about some of the levels, like just some of the things that you feel like maybe you're like a little hesitant? Like I feel like a lot of people are hesitant with things.
like for one, something that like I read the Bible, but there's people that interpret it in ways that I just didn't understand until they interpret it. And I feel we all have that, we can all have that ability. We just, just really just let the word take us and just really try to understand it. Because me personally, I feel like I'm just trying to read the Bible because God wants us to, but I'm not really reading it to fully like understand it. I'm just reading it just to read it because I feel like that's what's gonna bring me closer to Him. But I'm not just doing it with my heart. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And then I feel like God wants people to work for them, but it's like with me, I kind of was hesitant a lot because I guess I was scared in a way. I don't know. Mostly because I feel like people would judge me and other things. But I feel like now I'm at a place in my life where it's like I'm out of high school, and it's like it really doesn't matter what people think, because half the time people want someone else to do something so that they can follow along too. And I feel like me being that person, you know, trying to do it, go ahead with it, people are going to try and follow my footsteps. So yeah, that's just how I feel about that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I understand that. How about you, Brendan?
As for me, I just want to real quickly backtrack to what Esther was saying. I appreciate her honesty, because it's so easy to just be like, to conform, and just because this is a church atmosphere, say they're like, yeah, I love God so much, he's impacted me so much. I appreciate the fact that she was actually like, you know, I'm not really connected to God like that. You know, I need some stuff I need to work on, you know, and I could say for myself, I'm the same way. I'm not like, I feel like I'm close to God. I definitely, like, I pray, I love God, but I honestly, when it comes down to going to church, like, what is it? Not communion, confession. I really don't confess my sins. I think it's boring, and there's no point to it sometimes. But, you know, you know, I definitely think that, like, if I incorporated something like going to church every Sunday and just showing my love to the Lord, then I'll be a better man.
Yeah. Do you guys think that some things kind of hinder your relationship with God because of like religious stuff, I guess, that you guys, like, you talked about how sometimes it's in the Bible's interpreted, and like the communion, or not the communion, the confession thing and stuff like that, do you guys feel like sometimes like seeing religious stuff kind of hinders that as well?
Well,
yeah.
Go ahead, Sam.
No, you got it.
Go ahead, you talk first. Go ahead.
All right, so like, everybody here is familiar with TikTok, right?
Yes.
Yes.
On my For You page, I got like a mix of everything, like regular videos, like dancing videos, and like basketball and music and all that. But sometimes I get Christian stuff, right? And I see other dudes that like they're deeper in it and they like understand it more. And then it's like, no, oh man, I just can't get like that. So that makes me feel like I'm like less of a Christian than them. So it's like, I can't describe it, but like it makes me feel worse about myself and my relationship with God.
No, I completely understand that. I think we all struggle with that sometimes. Like, I know being like a leader and comparing myself to like other leaders sometimes, and seeing how much they know about the Bible, like, it is intimidating. But that's nothing to be discouraged about. But thank you for sharing that. Esther, what were you gonna say?
I feel like, me personally, nothing can really hinder my relationship with God. Well, I lied, because
She's like, wait a minute, I'm gonna do that.
Last year when I lost my cousin, I actually denounced being a Christian. Like, I was like, I'm not doing it anymore. But like, I was like, I don't know what made me want to come back again, but it's just something about God's love, and it's like something about the religion itself that I just can't let go of. And you know, I ask God for forgiveness, and you know, there's always a reason behind everything in life. So I just choose not to hold that against him. And yeah, but I feel like other people outside looking in, or people that are actually in, you know, going to church and stuff like that, what I gathered was that like a lot of churches and a lot of pastors and stuff, they tend to interpret things that restrict them instead of actually reading them with love and like telling them, you know, like, this is God, this is who he is. Like, they always bring them, they're always telling them like, oh, you can't do this, or you can't do that, you can't do that. And it makes them rebel and makes them feel like that's God that's doing it, when really it's like, it's your pastor, it's your leader, or whoever's telling you that you can't do this and that. God doesn't force anyone into the religion. He doesn't keep anyone either. Like, it's by choice. And I feel like everyone makes it feel like it's not a choice, like you have to do it, or it's like that or the highway. And I feel like if more kids were just to really find God on their own or read the Bible, really, because if you don't, that's God's word. If you're gonna listen to the world, then you're never really gonna really find who God is, really. So that's another reason why I try to read the Bible more, because it's like a lot of people out here, even pastors, they tell false word. Yeah.
That's really good. And I wanted to piggyback off of that, because I did want to ask you guys, why, like, what do you think teenagers think about having a relationship with God? Because you made a great point about how, like, people will kind of, like, they hear all that stuff from other people instead of actually just reading the word. So how do you guys think, like, teens look at, like, you guys or just other teenagers who have a relationship with God? Like, how do you guys think that's, like, perceived?
I think that people, are you talking about, like, people who don't have a relationship with God, or who do?
Yeah, people that don't have a relationship and they see, like, other teens or, like, kids their age have a relationship.
I think that people that don't have a relationship with God, so, like, I was talking to one of my friends and she was like, I was talking to her about, like, Christian, like, how she asked me, like, what made me become one. And then I was like, I just felt like I couldn't do anything else on my own. So then I turned to God. And then I asked her why. She said she couldn't do it because she didn't want to be perfect. And I was like, it's not just about being perfect. Like, we're not going to be perfect. It's only God is going to be perfect. So I think that, like, people who aren't Christian see it as, like, oh, I got to be perfect. I have to do this and do that. And it's like, they don't want to do all that. So, yeah.
Wow, Sam, that's a really, really good point. Brendan, did you want to add something to that?
I was thinking, honestly, I mean, I wanted to respond to Sam's point, but I think I have, like, a whole new point. I think I really was trying to respond, but at the end of the day, I was like, I'm doing too much. But I think a lot of people take religion for granted, to be honest. Like, and I'm one of those people, because a lot of people, I feel like we get so, like, caught up in this bubble of, like, we have to do, like, only certain things, but in reality, I feel like religion is just a great thing, and I feel like it should just be a part of everyone's life, because a lot of people fear the unknown. And when people, let's say, like, oh yeah, I don't believe in that God stuff, I want to turn atheist, and it's just like, okay, like, that's your opinion, I respect that, but I feel like, for me, having, like, a religion and just believing that there is a God, someone that can bring me up in times where I need that hand to help me up, it's just, it's a great thing, and it makes me a happier person. Yeah, honestly, and I feel like the word religion kind of scares people away, because it's really more of a relationship with God. Like, I think religion, sometimes people hear that and they think, like, yeah, like, you have to be perfect, and it's like a dictatorship, and like we're all I'm way far from perfect. I'm not even halfway there. I'm not even a quarter of the way there. Yeah. But I think that's a really, good point, that I do think people, I think people have a hole in their heart that they don't know what it is, and they look to other things that aren't God to try to fill that. I think everybody does have, like, an innate want, though, to want that. Like you said, like, somebody who's an atheist, like, I feel like everyone's just searching for the same answer. They just don't know what's the same answer. But in a way, I feel like, I just want to add on to that, I just feel like people sometimes put the wrong things to fill that hole in the heart. Like, instead of using something, they use glass, or they use something like, something like that. Like, people will turn to things such as, like, drugs or alcohol, because that think, like, is gonna, like, cure their sadness, depression, or whatever. But in reality, like, if you just find, like, something more, like, whether it be religion, or whether it be, like, I don't know, going to the gym, or, like, in me and Sam's case, playing basketball, that's kind of like the sanctuary that takes us away from all the madness that goes on in the outside world. Right.
Yeah. Just to piggyback off on what Brendan was saying, I hear the music all the time too. So like they'll always be like, I wish I had this, or I turned to drugs and money, and then it's like they were always talking about something that like they wish could fill their heart, but they just can't find it. And I realized that like if half of these people really turn to Christ as like we did, like I think that they can influence more people to do it too, and then more people would just follow after that. And people realize, okay, this can actually fill our hearts instead of going to drugs and money, and they're hurting themselves or hurting other people. So, like, yeah, that's how I see it.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome, guys. Oh, Esther, were you going to say something?
No, I just said I agree.
Yeah, that's really good. So, the next question. Do you guys feel like God can genuinely love every single person?
Yeah.
Like, do you think God has the love that he says he does? Because I know some people don't, and I'm including murderers, like all that. Like, do you guys think that God could still love everybody the same exact way?
Absolutely.
Sure, it's kind of hard sometimes to like see it. It's like how do you kill another one of God's creations? But like, I realize that we all aren't perfect, like we always say, and we're all like sinners too. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, cool. So that was a unanimous. Sometimes
I was gonna say, like, if God can accept, I don't remember exactly what that guy did next to him on the cross. I always forget. But the guy that was to the left of him and the right of him on the cross, or something, we can accept him in heaven. He can accept anyone. God died for all of us, and even if someone murdered someone today, I mean, we may not accept it, but if they found Christ along the way, I feel like God would truly accept them, and even in heaven, if they found him.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So next question. So what is love in like the human way, and not just relation? Like, what's the term love to you guys? Like, to love a parent, to love a sibling, to love a friend, to love someone.
I see like love. Like, love is like, I can wrong you. No, like, let's say, like, we're brother and sister, right? And let's say we can go 5 months without talking to each other, or like 5 years. And then once we see each other again, it's like we've seen each other every day for the past, like, forever. We've never left each other's side. And like, we'll be there for each other regardless of whatever happens. Like, we can just go 5 years or 5 months without talking, and you'll just be there for me regardless of how long we haven't seen each other for.
That's good.
I really like that point.
I feel like love is unconditional. I feel like the love, like earthly love, like it dies, but God's love doesn't. Because, I mean, yeah, your love for your family members might not die, but maybe a friend or, someone you encountered in your lifetime. Yeah, that's how I really feel about love. But I definitely feel like it's unconditional. While it's in, like, your love for your mother is always gonna be unconditional, whether the relationship was bad or not. But then again, I can't really speak for everyone because everyone's really different and they might not be the same. So that's how I feel.
That's good. How about you, Brendan?
I feel like love to me is simply just like I feel like Sam in one way took the words out of my mouth. But, you can go just such a long period of time without talking to each other, and you guys are still like, hey, like, and then you guys like embrace with a hug or something. Like, that's really good, to be honest. That's probably the best point you can make about love. But I can give you the second best and basically just say it's like basically just like care and embrace. Honestly, just it's really tough to describe like in a definition. Like you could probably use more like pictures to probably describe what love is, whether it just be like a kiss or a hug or something like that. Like, but in words, it's really hard to describe because, you know, it's one of those things where it has so many different meanings, like, you know, like unconditional love, you know, whether it be like intimate love, you know, all that type of stuff. Like there's just so many different like branches and subcategories, you know, but really, you know, it really could just be like, for example, love of God, you know, it's something where we don't see God in, like, we don't really ever see God like in our everyday lives, like more so just in spirit. It's something that's kind of just rooted in you. And I feel like it's just kind of just like a warmth that just keeps you going, to be honest, and just like tells you to keep pushing forward. And it's just like when you show compassion and you show like even as a friend, like even if you just show like compassion and you just show that you care about someone, I feel like simply that could be love.
That's really good. That's really, really good. So to kind of go off of what you said, how there's different loves and everything, I wanted to ask you guys, like, how do you, especially now in a time where it's hard to keep up with relationships, like friendships and partners and family and stuff like that, because I feel like collectively the world is just really going through it. So how have you guys been navigating like those different type of relationships? Like let's start with like friends. Like how has like your friendships been during this time? And like how have you been trying to like navigate it? Or how you haven't really, you know, just however you guys been handling it.
I'm gonna start by saying like it's been pretty rough for me because I've actually lost like a lot of people, you know, friend wise. Because what people moving, like it really wasn't so much because of the virus. It was just, you know, incidents where like, you know, between me and certain individuals where I don't have those people anymore or really text them much. You know, it's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, you know, that kind of distance, because there were two of my friends, one of them dorming at a Culinary Institute of America in New York, and the other one moved to Florida. And those were people who I were like, you know, PB&J I was tight with. And it was like, you know, it sucks, but at the end of the day, you know, I still talk to them over text. And like I made in the point before, you know, like what I said with God, you know, you might not see them in person, but the fact that you just have that spirit and you have that warmth that like they still, despite all that they're doing, you know, they're grinding, they're behind off, and then they're, you know, they still have the, you know, they still talk to you and they still make time for you. That just shows you that they care. Yeah.
We can't hear you, Sam.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
I hear you.
So, a lot, like, for me, friend-wise, like, I've lost a lot, but I've gained a lot of friends, too. So, like, I've lost, like, I want to say, like, 3 friends. I'll say a minimum 3 friends, and I've gained, like, 6. So, like, it evens out, but, like, I still have love for the people that I still may not talk to as much anymore. But I realized, like, you know, I'm a sophomore, so, like, I still have time to, like, hang out with all these people. But, like, once I'm gone, like, once we all go on our separate ways, like, it's going to be crazy. So, like, it's, like, the virus is, like, preparing us for, like, college and all that, in a way.
Yeah, the virus is preparing us for a lot of things. What were you gonna say, Esther?
I just said that's so true how you said it's preparing you guys, because, you know, I just left high school, and, you know, me personally, I'm an extrovert. Like, I'm always talking to people. I'm very social. I make friends quite easily, and in high school, I was by myself. You know, it was easy to keep up with everyone because they're there. And it's like, even if they're not there, we're always going to the same social gatherings. So it's like, oh, I'm texting this person, seeing how you're doing, blah, blah. Now that I'm in college, it definitely is hard keeping up with your whole senior class or everyone you met. You're definitely going to fade away from a lot of people. Depending on the type of person you are, you might still keep those people as acquaintance or something, but they're not going to be in your life like that. me personally, like you guys, have lost friends too as well, but I also gain friends as well, and it's really just keeping the right people around you. This is like not the time to keep negative energy around. It's a time to keep positive energy. So keep good people around you, people that have the same mindset as you, meaning like following Christ, because you know, it's better to keep people that have the same mindset as you, because you know, you all have this one goal of going to heaven, building a relationship with God. You don't want to keep people that are not gonna help you complete that goal. So yeah, that's really just how it's been for me so far. But yeah.
Okay. So we've all lost some friends, but we also gained some friends. Definitely in a time like this, it's definitely hard.
Yeah.
I completely understand that. Sam, did you want to say something? Go ahead.
I totally feel Esther when she said she's an extrovert, like really social. Like I can make friends easily too. So like I definitely understand where she's coming from with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the three of you are pretty extrovert.
And also, I like to say, like, through this pandemic, I realized that friends are actually important because, you know, this time before the pandemic, people, like when it started, people talk about like mental health, all this, and I never fully understood that because, you know, in my culture, that's not a thing. It's not a thing at all. So when everyone's talking about it, and now I'm learning more about it because everyone's on social media, they're posting all this information. I'm reading, I'm researching, I'm doing all these things. And it's like, it's good to have people, friends, think that they're going to be around, check up on you, you check up on them, you know, two-way effort, because it could get lonely sometimes. There could be dark thoughts, and so I do feel like it's really important to have friends during this time, especially. Yeah, so that's how I feel.
Amen. I agree. I totally agree. Okay, this is the last question. So, and you can honestly, again, give your honest opinion about this. What do you guys think about, and we just have to ask this because it's the month of love, but what do you guys think about dating at a young age?
Oh,
look, all of them are like, oh, wait a minute.
No, guys, go ahead.
I don't know.
Be honest. Be completely honest.
It's kind of crazy.
If you think it's a yes thing, it's a yes. Hey, listen, I know people that have been dating since like 15. Sometimes it works.
Kind of crazy. Like, I think that like you should I think you should get into it now. Learn like what not to do and what to do in a relationship, because like you won't have like this much freedom as you do now. Because like you can say, all right, I have the weekends. We all have the weekends off because we don't have school, or like because like when you get older, it's like, oh, I have work these days and at these times. So it's like, yeah, I don't know.
So you're like training yourself for an older time period.
I mean, like for me, I can't get into relationships like that because I have basketball to focus on and like stuff that like keep me busy. So like, I mean, I see my friends dating and all that, but like, yeah, I just have to keep my head on my goal.
Okay. How about you, Esther?
Personally, for me, that's out the window. My parents are like really strict, so it's like not happening. But personally, me, it doesn't really matter. I'm not gonna say it doesn't matter what age, but I feel like at a young age, if you date, it's fine, it's whatever. But you know, some people tend to take things too far, and they get themselves into situations at a young age. And I'm like, no one's perfect, so it's like, if you do end up in situations at a young age, you shouldn't feel that bad, because like everyone makes mistakes. But I feel like people should have good guidance when they're in a relationship at a young age, because when you're young and you're doing toxic things, things tend to get too far, and then at a young age you're already having like trauma or whatever the case may be. And I feel like a lot of people with relationships. Ooh, my mom's yelling. Wait, you can go ahead, Brandon, if you have something going on.
Okay, Brandon, what are you?
All right, yeah. So my sense on is that I think there's definitely pros and cons. I'm really not swayed either way. I also think what factors determine it is how young age. I feel like if it's like really young, because let's be honest, I've seen some like fifth graders that were dating. Like I remember back fourth, fifth grade, they're like, they have girlfriends already. I'm just like, okay, what are you guys going on dates? The gumball shop? Where y'all going for dates? But, the playground. But so yeah, that was a little interesting. But when it comes down to just like teenage whatever love, I think definitely the pros of it is just it teaches you the discipline, for a guy and a girl, this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do, and it just gives you the feeling of doing it, and just why you guys are dating, you have love. We just talked about how special and important life is to a human being. You could have money, you could have fame, you could have all these things. Why these celebrities and all these popular people like money get depressed is because they don't have love.
Yeah.
So love really is like the glue that holds a human being together. But the cons, I would say, is as Esther was talking about, if that goes haywire, when it's like after a while, it like you get cheated on or something bad happens, then it's like it's almost like a trauma that could scar you and may prevent you from going into a relationship in the future, or like at least for a while, it'll keep you away from the significant other. So
I think, Esther, that was a really good point about like the whole trauma thing, that I don't think, in hindsight's always 2020. I'm not that age anymore. So, like when you're in the moment, you don't think about things. I literally thought growing up, and I'm so serious, I don't care how stupid this sounds. It was stupid, but I literally would tell myself, like, I'm not going to regret this. I'm not going to regret this. I'm not going to do it. Like, I would tell myself that, like, probably to try to convince myself, but it really does cause, I'm not saying, dating at a young, like 15, 16 age is like the worst thing in the world, but it does, like, the trauma definitely is definitely a thing. And I think that's a very important point. Not to scare, I know there's going to be people watching this YouTube. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but it is a thing. You guys really, I'm telling you, be careful. But go ahead, Brendan.
Yeah, I was just going to add just one thing real quick. I feel like also at the age of like 15 and 16, if something were to happen, you're also in school too. So how high school, how that can get. So I feel like, it'll not only just be a trauma, but it's almost like a snowball effect. There'll be all these rumors being spread around, and it could really ruin your life. I remember how, like, back when I was in high school and before high school, just middle school, when all these rumors are going around and, people are making fun of you, it's not a pleasant feeling.
Yeah.
I know I had a top story in school, whatever, being bullied. So, that's another thing.
Yeah, I don't date girls from my school like that.
That's a solution. That's how you don't get made fun of.
I always go for like schools like around me, but not like my actual school. So I'll go to like Old Bridge, or because I go to Cerebral, so I go to like Old Bridge or Hazlitt or one of those schools, like, because like I don't want to get made fun of if something happens, like. So yeah.
Listen, Alasia, all I'm dating is chicken parmesan. I'm about to order.
Yeah, I'm dating my basketball.
Okay, so no one's dating. What are you gonna say after? Oh, I can't hear you.
Can you
You're
hear me
muted,
now?
my guy.
Oh yeah, I can hear you now.
I was gonna add that me personally, like in high school, like I said, I wasn't allowed to date, and it was like, from my experience, all my friends, they were all like in relationships or in situationships, or whatever it was, and I always got asked this question, Esther, like, why aren't you dating? And I didn't want to say like, oh, my parents didn't want me to date because
Mhm.
but like it was just the fact that I'm a person of if I see something happening and it's not going well or it's not working out, I'm not gonna go try it because I don't want to go suffer the consequences of it. And it's like you guys are all rushing into these relationships at a young age because you're trying to get something, and it's like every single one of you guys who made fun of me, you're all crying because this guy did this to you, or you took it, you rushed it, or this and that. Like, take your time. I'm not saying get in a relationship, but it's like I feel like you guys are looking for something and you went there, you thought you got what you wanted, and it's like you're left with nothing. And it's like, I feel like at a young age, you guys definitely need guidance, and you need to know like how you should be respecting a relationship, and what a relationship is supposed to be like and what it's not supposed to be like. And but then again, there's other aspects to it, like how a girl was brought up or a guy was brought up. Like, it's what they were taught too as well. So I can't really, but it's definitely you need guidance for real, because yeah, that's how I feel about it. But even as an adult too. So
Yeah.
but yeah.
Amen. Amen. All right. Is there any last minute comments or anything?
That's it from me.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, guys. So we are all done. That was really, thank you guys so much. It was very nice to hear from all you and just to hear like your opinions and perspectives and all that. And I really liked how kind of like on some things, like you kind of were all in different places, like personally. I think that's really cool. I think the youth are really going to enjoy this because I know there's some kids that have talked to me personally about like what they're going through. And some of them have had like similar situations and similar thoughts as you guys. So I know this is definitely going to bless somebody. So thank you guys so much.